Thank you.
Dude, no, seriously. No, thank you for doing this. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. The community appreciates it. I'm sure there's some people from your community coming over to check this out. I have lots of people coming in, lurking, and checking this out. And if this is kind of a weird time for me because I've been streaming really late. But there's still for the people that aren't going to be able to catch it, they're definitely going to be watching the YouTube upload once I upload this on YouTube and all that. So
Oh, it's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
No worries. It's 9 p.m. here, so it's getting late.
Yeah, let's get into it. So for anybody that doesn't know exactly, can you
Hmm.
pronounce your name properly? For anybody that doesn't know proper, I said Jocke for the longest time, as I'm sure
Yeah.
most Americans do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And so, how do you pronounce it properly?
Well, in Sweden, we like to say Jocke. Now it's your turn. Now you do it.
UK. Close. It's close.
Close.
I
Yeah.
know it's not there, but it's close. There's like a finesse that Europeans have that not all Americans can nail. I know I don't nail it.
Yeah, I think all the Americans do like jockey, like a disc jockey or like a horse riding jockey or something.
Yeah.
But it's just Jocke with a short E in the end.
Hell
And the
yeah.
round O. It's really hard for you guys, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Jocke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Anyway, still, that's just a nickname. My real name is actually Joachim, but
yeah, so I how I would read it, and like when I looked it up, your full name, I how I would read it would be like uh Joachim or Joachim, but that's not how you pronounce it either.
no, it's Joachim. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. So you're not born in Europe, though. Not everyone would know that.
No, I'm not. I was born in Chile, the 10th of June, 1985, in the capital of Chile called Santiago. In a very poor family. I was adopted here to Sweden when I was 2 months old, and I've been growing up and living my entire life here, except for touring, of course.
Of course. Have you spent any time back there at all? Maybe outside of touring, maybe during touring?
Well, I took a stroll uh, when we did touring in South America. We actually played. This was actually really funny because we did a we did a tour in South America, right? And I was like super stoked because I was going back to Chile, and I have never been there since I left, pretty much since I was adopted. And I asked my parents, like, do we have any old documents or anything? And they said, yeah, I think you have your old passport. They said to me, my first passport when I was like this big, right? And then they told me that like maybe there's an address in there, and I looked it up, and it was an address, and that turned out to be like 250 meters away from the venue where we were playing. So I just went to that address, and there was a brand new glass building there. I have no idea what was before. So
Wow, that's wild. That's
yeah, that's
really
pretty cool.
cool. That's really cool. So you were born there and you were adopted early in Sweden. Are you still very close to your family, very family oriented, or are you distant,
Oh yeah,
close?
no, we live in the same area pretty much. Um, if I go by car, it takes me like 5 minutes to drive to my parents, so
Awesome. That's
it's
cool.
perfect.
I
Yeah.
love it. So how did you get into drumming then? Were your adoptive parents into music at all? Was it through schooling? How did that come about?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, I like money. Yeah,
I
I like money though.
don't know. I think it might be like I think it was my friend Andreas. He was really into music, and oh yeah, now I remember. He was into music, so he wanted to have someone to play drums for him because he wanted to start a band when we were really young, like 15. And I said I can't. I have no idea how to do it. And then there was a friend. His name is Mats, in my class, and he was going to perform a song on the school, like ending ceremony, kind of. And he said, Jocke, you are Latino. You know how to drum, right? And I was like, yeah, sure, I can probably try it. And then we played, a basic 4x4 80s pop beat, and we played Gloria Gaynor, "I Will Survive" as our song. And that's how I started drumming. And then my other friend Andreas brought me into the world of metal, of course. So
That's awesome. I'm sorry I missed it. How old were you at that time?
15.
15? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's seems to be about a pretty average age for a lot of musicians, about like 7 to 15, that range where a lot of people start,
Oh yeah, around there, I think.
That's awesome. So you got into music at school and all that, and then you say a friend got you into metal. What did you kind of listen to before you were into like heavy metal? Just probably a lot of rock or something.
No, on the contrary, I was like, I like, and I still like techno and like trance and stuff like that. I'm not a very frequent listener to it right now, of course, but I don't mind listening to it sometimes, while driving, probably.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But then, of course, we started playing like punk covers, and then we found Slipknot in 2000.
I got alerts going off. I should have my alerts muted,
Yes.
and I got alerts going off. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
But anyways, so you have a wide range of music that you listen to. You got into metal at about a teenage years.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, 15, 16 somewhere. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
And then of course we wanted to be like a Slipknot cover band in the beginning. We did our own masks and shit,
oh,
Had our
you went
own
all out. It
posters.
wasn't just about the music. It like the
Oh, no.
production value was a big part of it too.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
So that's right. That's something that we've actually talked about behind the scenes, is that you're actually a huge. You were very influenced by Joey Jordison.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was. I have to say I was. I'm not anymore. And he was one of my heroes when I was starting playing drums, of course.
Yeah, somebody that definitely influenced you to learn the style that you know today.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of like, I don't know. I like to call his playing like a very hiccupy, if you know what I mean. It's like it's not like fluent all the time. It's just like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And it's order in that chaos he produces, and I kind of like that.
I understand that completely. Actually, yeah, that's a great way to put that. What are some other drummers in previous years that really influenced you along with Joey to form, like, make you learn the fills that you do, because you really have great intricate fills. You of course have, how to blast beat, and like I've checked out your older bands, and your older bands had definitely way more blast beats than like Amon Amarth would have. Amon Amarth definitely has a lot of double bass, but like your older bands have a lot of blast beats, which I was actually kind of surprised about. I was like, oh shit, this is bad. Like I did a good deep dive, and yeah, you got all the tricks. You got the fills, you got the blast beats, you got the double bass. So what drummers kind of what other drummers kind of help influence that?
Well, I'm a big power metal fan. So it's mostly the classical ones, Uli Kush, Daniel Zimmerman from Gamma Ray, Achilles Priester, Felix Bonke from Avantasia and Ed Guy, and Alex Holzwarth from Rhapsody, normal mainstream power metal guys. Achilles is probably on top, because he's so creative and fucking monster, if you will.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But also, I always ended up playing in like black metal bands because no one in my area around here wanted to play power metal. So everyone just wanted to play like the more aggressive part of music. So yeah, so we ended up starting a lot of black metal bands around here, and yeah, that's why I had to play a lot of blast beats and kicks, and I love the melodies of power metal. So ending up in Amon Amarth was a perfect mix. You have the speed, the double kicks, and you have the melodies. So
Hell yeah. No, for sure, for sure. So, like, when it comes to like your previous bands, that was okay. How old were you when you were in your like first like official band? Like, it was probably a couple years after 15. Like, I want to say you were pretty young still, right?
I have to think of what's considered my first official band.
But yeah,
But
I
let's
looked
say,
up. It seemed like you on the metal encyclopedia. That's what I looked up to see some of the previous projects that you did.
uh-huh.
I want to say that there was about 5 or 6 that like significant looking ones that had like if you weren't like just a touring drummer, you at least did some recordings with the band or were a live drummer, and it seemed like there was some range too. Like like you weren't just in like an Amon Amarth style band. You were in black metal. There was a band that almost seemed kind of doom-esque. It was like kind of like
Oh
doomy
yeah,
black metal.
yeah,
That was very interesting. I heard that. I was like, oh, this is completely different. And then there was like some like thrashy sounding stuff. Maybe yeah, more power metal like a good range.
yeah. I have done a lot of like session jobs, uh, and that's super fun, to be honest, to do that. You get sent a file to your home and it's like, can you do drums to this? And here's an idea. They sent like a program track, and then you play it, and then you add your touch to it, and you just, what do you mean half a bar feel? No, I'm going to do 2 bars feel, and you just like smack it to make it more and it's so it's great, and they love it. Just put your touch to it and everyone will love it. But yeah, I've been in a lot of bands, and I would say like the bands I consider bands that I have joined would be like Valkyria is probably that's probably my first real band, I think, because we did a lot of touring and stuff. And then of course October Tide, which is old members from Catatonia. And then there was a short time with a black metal band called Astrophobos from Sweden as well. And then I played in a band, really, really doom, like fucking 1 beat per minute doom, called Morito Ergo Sum. But that was just really for a short while, and it didn't lead to anything. But it was really fun doing that because I had the contrast of playing super fucking fast and then not playing at all, Ah.
I understand it. It gets boring when there's a lot of open air.
Oh yeah, and it's super hard to keep time, I think.
No, it is. It's very hard. A lot of people think that playing fast is the only hard thing when it comes to keeping time, but it's actually a lot would argue that it's harder to keep time slower than it is faster.
Oh yeah, I totally think so. Because you have so much going on in your head, and you can start thinking about other stuff. Oh, I have to fix this at home. I have to cut the grass. I have to do the roof, bah, and it's like just
so much open air.
yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
I hear that.
But I thought it was quite important to me to do all these styles of band so I can like explore my playing and try to find a groove within slow music and fast music and just to you know get better, get good, if you
Yeah.
will.
Oh yeah. Do you have like a favorite project that you did before joining Amon Amarth that you just a project or a band that you're really proud of the work that you did?
Mm, yeah, I actually listen to this band or project called Quelm, I think it's called Cwealm or something. I have no idea.
Okay.
And I just listened to that, uh, and I was blown away. I remember that was really tough for me to play, but when I listened to it, it's like, holy shit, did I actually play this? Okay, cool, that's super awesome.
What was the
And
tough part about it?
it's fast. It's really fast. I mean, I'm not talking like Marduk, Belphegor, Lorna Shore fast. I'm talking about fast for me.
Yeah.
So it's like 230, 240 maybe, but it's still kind of fast.
That's still very fast.
And then yeah, that was my favorite session before Amon Amarth. And then when I joined Amon Amarth, I got an offer doing like an album for another band called Voodus. It's VOODUS. And I recorded their first album. And I had just arrived back home from tour. And my friend, who was the studio engineer, he said, like, hey, can you come and do the drums for this band? I got to the studio. They tell me, yeah, we have like 4 days to do the drums, and we have like 9 songs. Can you do it? I was like, oh shit, maybe. But I have my routines. I need to go to the gym. I need to work out in the morning, and then I can come to you after lunch because I also needed time to learn the songs. I couldn't like sit down and play the songs because I should do my workout and then to the studio, right? But I was in good shape after the tour, so I listened to like 2 or 3 songs every day in the gym on the treadmill, pretty much, and then I came to the studio and I recorded the songs. So I think we were done in 3 days, uh, just by listening and imagine what to play and then perform it in the studio. And that album turned out to be really awesome. I think it's very mystic, obscure, black kind of dissection ish, but it's super awesome. I think I'm proud of that one.
Awesome. I mean, I wasn't. I didn't think that I'd be disappointed in anything that I heard of your previous projects before Amon Amarth, but I was quite pleasantly surprised. Like I knew they were going to be good, but like listening to them, I was like, this is really good. Like it all the pretty much all the projects were right up my alley. Like yeah, there was one of the very dissection-y kind of, like thrashy black metal, and then
Oh
with
yeah.
your style drumming over it, it was really tasteful. Like I really enjoyed. I listened to it on stream, and me and the community were just like, this is really good stuff. We were kind of not. I mean, we weren't surprised, but we were. You know what I'm getting at? Like we
Yeah.
knew it was gonna be good, but it actually exceeded our expectations because it's just that good. So yeah, I mean, it's not shocking that you ended up joining like such a great premier metal band around the world.
I think it's kind of shocking. It was for me by then,
So
But
how did that come about though? Like did they you do like some shows and they see you? Was there word of mouth? Did you do a tryout?
it was word of mouth, I would say. Do you want me to tell the whole story, maybe?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
how?
please.
Okay, so first of all, it was a very big coincidence, I think, from the beginning. Not me joining the band per se, but me being in a big band by that time. Because I had a friend, Kalle is his name. We said like, yeah, we're so tired doing all these club shows. We wanted to have our breakthrough, you know. So back in 15, I think it was 2015, we told each other like, yeah, 16, that's gonna be our year. 2016 is going to be our year. We're gonna make it somehow. And in 15, Amon Amarth split with their drummer of 17 years, and I was like, this is probably my chance, you know. I have to try to take it. And I did 3 covers, I think it was, on YouTube. And don't bother looking, guys, they're not there anymore. And I didn't know how to get in contact with the band, like to tell them to watch my videos or anything. And I didn't know anything about management or anything. So I just asked around, and then it turned out that my guitar player in Valkyria, Simon, he knew Johan Söderberg, one of the guitar players from Amon Amarth, because it was like his sister's boyfriend's cousin or something. I don't know. So he sent my videos to him, and he replied like, yeah, he seems like a very good and talented drummer, but we're gonna try someone we already know. And then they tried Tobias from Vomitory. And Tobias ended up recording the Joms Viking album. And for different reasons, Tobias couldn't do touring and that being away from home, you know, that long. So they asked Tobias, like, do you know someone who's a good guy, who's a nice drummer, and yeah, you know, all that. And I had known Tobias for a long time, so he recommended me. And then when they looked at my videos, Johan said like, oh, I already seen his videos. And then they contacted me in early 2016.
That's awesome. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, here I am. Oh yeah, of course I had to do like auditions and stuff. So they told me like, can we come to your studio and do like rehearsals? We can play together and see how we fit and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, of course. So they came to my place, and I had to do 3 songs, like 1 slow song, 1 mid-tempo song, and 1 fast song. And I nailed those 3 songs, and then they said, cool, we're gonna do another audition, like you're like part 2, you know. And by then you have to know 10 or 11 songs. Sure, I already knew 3, and I had practiced some songs before, and I listened to the band for a long time as well. So yeah, they were like, yeah, you're gonna know. They gave me a list like these songs. Cool, I played them, and then they came back and we played those songs together. Oh yeah, this seems fine. We're gonna do a part 3 as well, you know. Oh fuck, I thought. And then by that time we should play like 24 songs, I think. And because they wanted also not only know if I could play the songs, but make sure that I could play an entire set, you know, of 90 minutes or 115 or something. And yeah, so I took some time off from work. My boss was very understanding and everything. So yeah. And then I nailed those 24 songs, and they said, and then the band said like, yeah, you're coming with us. And we did a small promotion tour of 4 small shows in Europe. It was like 800 person cap, so it wasn't super big, but it was still bigger than my previous tours pretty much.
Yeah.
But for them it wasn't too much. So I was super nervous doing those 4 shows, and then they said, yeah, this is working really well. Do you want to come with us on an 8-week US tour? Yes. And they made very, very clear that this is just for now. We'll see how it works out. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Super fine. But then after, I think there was like a week or so, Olavi came to me and said, like, we're going to have a vote about this, but trust me, you're already in. And then I'm, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, it's understandable that a big band would be, and a band that had been around for however long, was at least cautious about who they were letting in to the band.
Oh, yeah.
Like definitely understandable. So that's really cool that they did that, and that it really worked out, that you nailed it.
Yeah, and the playing isn't everything. You have to be able to socialize. You can't be a fucking criminal or a druggie or whatnot. You have to be a decent guy.
Exactly.
And get along with everyone. You're supposed to be in a bus for 8 weeks, so you have to be. Yeah, you have to be decent.
Got to be able to at least tolerate each other, if not get along.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
But I was very surprised by them that they chose me, because I was like, yeah, they're probably gonna go for, I don't know, fucking Lombardo or other drummers who applied. But then it just turned out to be me in the end. But hey, I'm happy about it. So.
I think that's how a lot of people feel. They're like, I know I get that a lot. It's like, they're not going to pick me, and then something ends up rolling my way. So a lot of people get that, and especially like musicians are that way. Hardworking musicians, they like I see a lot of musicians that it's not that like musicians like you or I don't have confidence, but like we know our skill level, and so we can be hard on ourselves, and so
you kind of have to.
we strive for the best, and so we can't. It ends up being hard on ourselves sometimes. So I understand that, but it's what it takes to get to that point. I think though too, is having that respect of the game, essentially, of like I'm not going to slack this off. I'm going to do my best and try to nail it, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah, for sure. And that was like I thought the exactly the same in 2016 when I said to my friend that like this is going to be our year, and that's the year I bought a lot of recording equipment to have in my studio, so I could record myself. I could see all the hits according to the timeline. Like, okay, this isn't super tight. It's slacking? Oh, it's my left foot. Then I work super hard on my left foot, and then after a while, everything was just like all the 16 note was in place, and so you have to be very hard and actually listen to yourself what you're playing as well, and not just wing it because it feels good, but it has to sound good too.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like some people just kind of wing it, and then some people are really on top of it. It sounds like when you practice, do you do a lot of like recording of your practice, whether it's with the band or by yourself or whatever? Like what's your practice sessions like alone? Like not we've seen you practice like or I have, and some people on Twitch have seen you practice like in your practice setting like that, but maybe go through a little bit of like your thought process when it comes to practicing and maybe writing a little bit. I want to know a little bit about your writing process. If it's very technology based, or if you just kind of, if you're up here in your head, how does that go about?
Okay, so practice first of all. When I don't stream my practice, and when I stream my practice, I always start playing other songs, so it doesn't help. But When I practice by myself, I kind of sit there and I do my warm up for an hour or so, and then I play. Then I start playing our songs. And when I feel that I might fuck up, then I just play the song over and over again until I fucking nail it, one take. But when it comes to technique, I tend to, how do I say it? Like, I always tell my stream that this is how I practice my kick drums, and that's my 15 minutes of boredom. You play slow, and then you accelerate to next level and next level, and then you max yourself out, and then you go back, and then you go, like a interval kind of thing. And then, but when I practice hands, and I would never say rudiments because I don't know anything about that, so I don't do that. But it's pretty much the same, it's just like you sit there and you for an hour or so. So you just have to do it. It's super, super boring. Sometimes you don't even wanna, but you have to, because otherwise you're not gonna make it live either. When it comes to writing, I don't know how much I should reveal, but we're very technology based. We send each other stuff pretty much, and then everyone puts their own touch to it, and in the end we bring it together to a song. Someone has an idea, send it out, I add drums. And when I add drums to it, the first thing I do is like a program the first thing that comes to mind to whatever riff it may be that they have sent me, and then I bring that riff and the bounce of the riff and the program drums together to my studio, and then I sit there and listen to, like, this is good, but is it good enough? I could probably do it better. And then I record myself playing on top of it, on top of the riff, and then I get back here and I program the drums, and then I send it back to the guys.
So you hand program the drums at first?
At first, yeah, and then I go there and play it and record myself to it. First as the idea which I already have programmed, like my initial thought, and then I do like different variations of it, like maybe accents on the rides, or open close hi-hat, or choking cymbals while you keep the rhythm, and then it's like, oh, I can probably add a feel here that has the same accents as the riff. So instead of, if the riff goes like tukata 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 tukata, then you don't want to play like tuku 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 over it, because it just will flatten everything. Then you can do like takate takate, or inverted, or you can just do like, I call them rolls, fast 16th and then go to 8ths and then 16ths and stuff like that, just to highlight stuff. And you have to try. I have to try more, I'm gonna say. Try harder to be more creative.
Well, I think that's how a lot of people go about it nowadays, which is probably honestly the best way to go about it. It's like you write down the initial idea that your first take, your first reaction. You're like, okay, it sounds like it could be this. Get that down, then you just kind of mold it. You're like, all right, maybe I want to fill here, maybe I want some different cymbal work here. That's definitely. I mean, that's how I figured you guys went about writing. So that's really cool. What
Yeah, I think it's very common these days that people do that, because it's so, you have the technology right here. So why would you, like, okay, I'm just gonna take a trip. I'm just gonna take the car. You get a riff. You take it to your phone. You go to your car. You go to your studio, and you just sit there and it's like, no, just put your initial thought right here. Listen to it, analyze, and then you can go there to see if it fits or not. But but I think it's important to do both. and not only one or the other, but you have to feel it in both ways,
Hard agree. Hard agree. I've done that before in projects where somebody gives me the music and I learn it before even touching the drums. I listen to it and I kind of imagine what I want to do, and then I'll go and play it, and you get the real feel. So that's definitely, it's got to be one of the best ways to go about it for sure.
Yeah, for me it works really well, and I think it works really well for most, because it feels more natural, than just program something and send it back like, okay, here's my idea.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even try to play it, because then you realized, oh shit, I can't play that fast, or has to be reasonable.
Yeah, you should be definitely putting down the ideas that that you can achieve, not just like, oh, it would sound 300 beats per minute double bass right here. Good. That would be cool.
Yeah. Hey man, this is a ballad. Oh shit. Okay, cool.
So what drum programming software do you use then?
Right here by my PC, I use Cubase and Easy Drummer.
Oh, Easy Drummer. Hell yeah.
And in my studio, I just record my own drums. Yeah. And I use Apple Logic Pro X, I think it's called.
Okay.
So it's really hard to go cross-platform. You have to do like MP3, listen, reprogram, and stuff like that. Otherwise, you could just like record in MIDI, like you probably can, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm very ignorant when it comes to being able to use this stuff. I've kind of toyed around with it, and I've had some friends try to show me how to use it, but I definitely have the way to just record MIDI drums.
Mm-hmm.
So are you really is it a long process for you to like program an idea that you have in your head for a riff, or are you pretty fluent? Have you been doing it long enough where because I've seen some guys, they got a song idea, they can just 5 minutes, they already got a song written on the computer, and then some guys it takes them hours. Are you pretty fluent with it, or does it take you some time?
I think, I mean, it's only drums I do, so it's not super hard. Here's the kick drum, here's the snare. So, well, of course, I know you have to know like subdivisions and theory and stuff like that, and that's super easy as long as you know the BPM. And I mean, for a song I can do a basic drum track in like half an hour, I think, which I think sounds good, and it's a good initial idea. And then of course you have to like redevelop and make some extras to it afterwards when you have the vocals and stuff. So
yeah,
because it's super different programming drums to a track, like a guitar track only, versus where you have the vocals and the bass and maybe orchestrations too as well, because they had another layer, I would say.
exactly. Yeah, no, 1,000,000%. Like, I think we have a lot of this like a similar drum style where we write our drums like there's some bands that there's the drum parts and then the guitar parts, and then there are some bands where they like a Metallica where they blend together really well. A Slipknot, a Metallica, where the drums are on point with the vocals, with the guitars and all that. And so
Yeah.
you can't just write drums to just one of the instruments. You need to hear the whole picture to be able to have all the little accents that you want.
Yeah, exactly. But that's I think that's my biggest issue. The thing you mentioned, that because when I get the music sent to me, there are no vocals to it. It's just guitars, right? And then we come to an agreement, is maybe the wrong term, but we say like, okay, this is, keep this to the studio. And then we go into the studio, and then we have the vocals in the studio. It's like, and then you have to like rearrange your muscle memory, because the vocals adds different accents and highlights and everything. So
Totally.
so we or maybe just say like, yeah, this is the foundation of the drumming, and then we will see in the studio how it turns out. Because also you have the vocalist putting his stuff, and then you have the producer saying what he thinks, and of course you have to listen to the producer as well. You don't have to agree or do as he said, but you have to listen to it and understand that there's another aspect to what you already had thought.
1,000,000%. I think some musicians have the idea of that they shouldn't listen to like a producer because it's like, well, they're not in the band, they're just helping us put the music together, or whatever the point is. When I in my opinion, and it's not always right, but it's good, I think, to have an outside perspective when it comes to like the writing process, especially if it's someone like a producer who really knows their shit, that could, help fine tune something that you guys might have overlooked or something like that.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, especially when it comes to maybe not the riff per se, but like arrangements in the song. Like, okay, we already heard this a billion times. Why do you want to do it again? Do a guitar solo here, or I don't know, surprise everyone, have a fucking keyboard solo, or maybe in this part just add a 5/4 instead of a 4/4, so we get a breather, and then we go again, and stuff like that.
So
So
in
it's
your
that's
experience, it seems like producers kind of like throw ideas on the wall, like, "Hey, why don't we do this?" And then you guys either go with it or don't. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you agree or disagree, and if you disagree, you kind of have to like, well, you don't have to, but it's really good to like prove your point. Like, I don't think that, because then this doesn't make sense that we did earlier in the song, or it doesn't add to the feeling, and the feeling that I'm trying to provide here is this, and this, and this. So you have to like put it all out there so everyone can understand what you're thinking.
Yeah, there's
Otherwise, if it's
definitely a
just,
philosophy to it, is what I think you're
oh yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as a songwriter, I have never, and I probably never will consider myself as a songwriter. I'm just a drummer. But if you have, let's say you do this, you compare this with like a painting, right? You have a full painting, and then when it comes to the print, they say like, yeah, but you should probably change this, and maybe not too much of this, and where's the sun or something. And then it's like, yeah, but this is my work, I'm proud of it, and yeah, but it could be better if you do this, says the producer. It's like, yeah, maybe it could. And then you go back to the drawing board, so it's the same.
Interesting. So, if I were to ask if you enjoy recording, like the recording process more or the touring process, would I be right in saying you might enjoy touring more?
I don't know, it has different layers as well, because touring you get to do other stuff as well, and that's nice. But on the downside, you play the same songs all over again, right? In the studio there's fresh material, but also you're under the microscope, under the, yeah. So everything you do will be heard and analyzed pretty much in the studio. So it's a give and take. I love being in the studio, especially if you have enough time. Some bands go in there and they record an album in a week. 2 days for drums, 2 days for guitars and basses, 2 days for vocals, and then like a rough mix the seventh day. And that's just impressive. But if you have, as we had on the previous album, I think we had like 6 weeks or something, then it's just great, because there was 1 week dedicated for the drums, and I was done in like 3.5 days. So we had a lot of time to do like everything else and be very picky and do some retakes and stuff. So
And that was for the last album?
Yeah.
The Great Heathen Army.
Yeah.
So to go back, you joined the band. You joined Amon Amarth, and then you did a couple tours before even going into the studio at all with them.
Yeah. So the first, I'm really bad at remembering all this, so bear with me. But I started in the band when Jom's Viking was released in 2016. And then we did 2 years of touring. Oh, well, maybe like 1.5 year of touring. And then during that time, we also wrote new material for the Berserker album. And then we had half a year off, and then I think we started recording the Berserker album.
Which I really, really enjoy that album.
Oh yeah, I think it's super, super good.
It
Maybe in like a retro perspective, I think the production could have been a bit tighter. You know, not the playing per se, but the production. You know, have been more. Yeah, but it's
I
great
really
album.
like the production on that album.
Yeah, because it's raw.
Yeah, it's got a good sound to it. Definitely, for sure.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it feels honest, and it is honest.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. Like, there's not much of the, what do you say, quantizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much of that. So everything is like super honest, and I like that.
Yeah, that's what makes it sound like you guys, you know, because there's so many bands now that, you know, they go into the studio and they make a sound in the studio, and then you go and see them live and they don't sound how they sound in the studio, you know. So that's the great thing about a band like you guys is you guys sound how you guys sound on the recordings live.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we have a good thing going.
I think so too.
When it comes to playing.
I think so. I mean, shit. You guys have had a lot of things going on. Like, what's the newest thing I think you guys have going on? You guys just came out with a new whiskey, right? Partnered with a whiskey company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still haven't opened my bottle yet, but I will. Yeah, it's a whiskey, single malt, made in Sweden. Together,
is it available worldwide?
No, it's only available in Sweden and in Germany as of now.
All right. Well, you hear that, Chad? Sweden and Germany to go get the whiskey from Amon Amarth. What's it called?
Ironside.
Oh yeah, I like the song. Hell yeah, awesome. I love it.
It's really good, actually. I'm a big whiskey fan myself, and it feels like I've tried most of it. Probably not, but I have tried many, like single malt, especially, and I think this is a very, very good product, and I'm super proud of it. And it was really fun making it as well.
How did that come about? Was there just somebody connect with the company that reached out to you guys?
We were approached by a company that makes this kind of stuff. They made Motorhead's whiskey and stuff like that as well. So they asked if we wanted to do it as well, and we were like, "Fuck yeah, of course."
That's cool.
So we did it. So we went up to the brewery. We drove to the brewery, and we had like a tasting, and then we had our opinions, and then we get to try different versions, and then we sat in the lab kind of as well, where they're like, okay, so here's, let's say this is this much sherry from the sherry cask, and then from oak, and all of these different wood casks, and then we found like the perfect mix where 3 of us could agree, like, this is our product, we like this, and we were there for a long time, and tried so much different versions, and it was super cool to sit there and like, telling them what to do with your own product. So
That is very cool. I love it, man. So let's go back. Let's get back to some drumming.
Mhm.
So when it comes to drums, what would be your favorite thing to do on the drums? Like, is it double bass? Is it uh, performing a badass fill, like fill work? Is it some cool cymbal work? Is it blast beat? Like, what's every drummer has like a preferred thing or like style, or
Mhm.
maybe whatever. Like for me, my favorite thing to do on drums is just double bass. Like that's like if I had to choose anything over anything when it comes to drumming, I love double bass. So what would be like your like highlights of drumming?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think
Because I honestly wouldn't be able to guess because you have a good healthy mix of it all. You got great fills. I think very thoughtful fills, like great cymbal work, great double bass. You throw in blast beats. Like I wouldn't be able to nail like, oh, that's his favorite thing to do there.
okay.
Which I think is a
Uh,
good thing.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree, and thank you first of all. But I think if I had to choose, I'm super tired of playing like mid-tempo songs. Just be there as the backbeat. I'm dead tired of that. So that's not it. And I love playing fast. Yeah. Okay. So my perfect scenario would be a 1 hour show where it's only like the power metal beat. For let's say 1 hour, and then we're at like from 195 to 10 BPM. Yeah, straight 1 hour. That's my best scenario, I think. Double kicking.
That sounds fun.
Because yeah, it is. And you give so much energy, and you get so much energy back playing that. I know it sounds very uh how do you say it, monotont in Swedish. Yeah, but it's like the same all the time, but it's so rewarding, I think, because you sweat a lot and you give it all, and it's nice, just like flatline, but for your mind, in a good way.
So it sounds like you definitely are like me in the sense of you definitely not only enjoy like the performance aspect of drumming and the sound of drumming, but you actually enjoy the workout, the physical exertion you get
Oh yeah.
from drumming because it's you're getting the mental high of creating or playing or whatever, but then you're also getting that physical high of a workout.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. I love being super like soaked after a show, because first of all, it's healthy, right? But also it's like a reward. You feel you have actually put the work in. You have yeah, you put the effort in, and that's what you're here for. You're here to do this, and you do it so well, and you do it with such passion, because some people, they just sit there like "Tug, tug, 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 tug," and they look like, well, it could be easy for them, but I like to struggle a bit, and yeah, and obviously you play for people who love the music you do, so that's even more rewarding, I think.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah, double kicking for sure. That's my dream. Not my dream, but my my thing. I think I don't feel like I'm like I'm super good on top, with my hands, but good enough apparently.
No, your hands are great. That's how I feel too. I feel like my hands are nothing compared to my feet.
Yeah, yeah, but you're fucking solid, so you don't have to worry.
No you. No you.
No, no, you.
I don't have the proof that I'm solid. I just stream. I don't have any of the set. I mean, I have some like recordings that are like hidden, on the internet or in people's like basements or something. But I don't have like the proof that I'm solid. Like you have the recordings to show for it. So
Oh well,
do you
you,
have
you will.
what's that?
You will.
I will someday. Someday, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
We're, we're working on it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, get a room. Someone said.
So, is there like a certain as I've gotten older, I've started watching like what I eat before playing, whether it's just streaming or a show or whatever. Are you
Mhm.
pretty I know you're really on top of like, you work out either daily or else most days of the week and all that. So I would assume that you might have like at least a semi-strict diet for shows and or touring, or else a very strict diet. What's that like?
I think the diet per se isn't super strict. Of course, I try to. I don't want to sit and like shove like a jar of butter or something into my mouth, but I do a lot of like meat, of course, because it's meat builds meat, and a lot of veggies on tour. Uh, I try to stay away from the fries. But if you have a nice steak, you kind of want fries, but don't eat it all. And what I think is most important in this is like how close to the show you eat. Because my soccer coach told me, like, when I was young, I was like 14 maybe. He told me, like, if you want to perform at, the best, then you have to have eaten 2 hours before you're supposed to perform. Sorry, play. I was like, oh shit, because digestion and everything, and that has stuck with me ever since. So that's my rule now, that I have to eat somewhat decent on a show day, and then I must have eaten at least 2 hours before the show. But in a perfect world, it would be 3 hours, because 1 hour before the show I do my warm up. So you don't want to start your warm up on a full stomach as well. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
but it works, as long as it's 2 hours before the show, then I'm fine.
Do you find it hard finding like a well balance on tour, finding do you guys have good catering? I would assume that you guys have good catering when you guys go on tour.
Yeah,
Is it not really difficult to eat how you want or need when you're on tour these days?
it's not super hard. No, you can pretty much have whatever you want to, and for catering, we have really good catering, like, with us. Not like our catering, but the catering company comes and take care of the tour, right? So uh, we can say, like, we want this orientated food, like we want high protein, low carbs, or whatever, and they will fix it for sorry, for the tour. But sometimes there isn't space for catering, and then there's buyout, and you can just go to whichever restaurant you want to go to and pick and choose your own food. So that's fine as well.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's for me. It's more important when I eat rather than what I eat, I think.
Okay.
And of course, in the mornings, I have like a bowl of porridge in the bus. So you get a good start and a healthy stomach as well.
That's key. That's key. we gotta we gotta hydrate. We gotta hydrate. Stay hydrated. Cheers. See, that's definitely key for drumming too. Is hydration. Do you ever? Do you have any? Or have you ever had hydration problems with touring? Like, you're playing so much that you're dealing with any cramping, or have you always just been really on top of your shit to where you don't deal with any of that? Because I've definitely been there, not touring, but like just doing what I do. I don't take care of myself enough. I'll end up dealing with some pretty bad cramps and all that. So have you dealt with that at all on tour? Or have you done a pretty solid job of taking care of yourself?
I am really good at taking care of myself when it comes to hydrating and eating. Uh, for hydrating, I think I drink at least 6 of those half-liter bottles every day before show, and then like 2 more afterwards. I prefer to also have like a Red Bull 40 minutes before the show, and I like to have like one of those like frosty Gatorades or Powerades afterwards, because you need, as Sam Squanch mentioned, you need your electrolytes as well. So
That's right.
those isotonic drinks,
Hell yeah.
especially afterwards, I think, to get everything back again.
Big time.
But it was really hard on the tour where I met you on the Ghost tour, because in some states they were so hot, Texas, Arizona. It was like, was it like 117 Fahrenheit when we played in Phoenix, and it's an amphitheater, so you know how hot those are, and it's just that was hard, to be honest. But just drink 2 more of those waters and you'll be fine.
So, I wanted to ask if you had. I think I asked this before. Didn't know if you had anything in mind, but do you have any like crazy or interesting tour stories that maybe no one's ever heard before that you could maybe share, whether if it's just something small, like something funny that happened, or something maybe crazy that happened at a show, whether it's fans or maybe one of the bands that you've played with, I don't know.
Oh man.
I'm sure there's
So
like a
so hard to
million. I'm sure there's a million, but is there anything like real that just sticks out in your mind? Well, there was this one thing that happened.
Yeah, as soon as I get this question about stories, well, first of all, I think everyone wants, like, the rock and roll legend story, with sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but backstage, but none of that things happen. So, and we don't want it to happen either, by the way. But the thing that comes up to my mind is the one time I got left behind. uh,
Oh no! No
I
shit.
think
Where?
I think we were
Okay,
playing,
let's hear about this.
I think we were playing in it was in Germany somewhere, and it might be in Hamburg, I think, maybe. I think it was, yeah. And I had like stomach issues that night, where you have to run to the bathroom all the time. So yeah, we did the show. It was no problem, like a big headline tour, with the props, the fire, everything. And then I came off stage and I was like, oh, my stomach is fucking killing me. So I go to the bathroom, I take a shit, take a shower, do everything, and then it was like, oh yeah, I'm finally done. This is the pain is over. And then we have bus call at like 1 a.m. I think it was, and it was super cold. It was like beginning of December maybe. So I was sitting in the bus playing PlayStation, having a whiskey, and I feel like, oh, it wasn't over. I have to go back to the venue. So I asked my tour manager on the way down in the bus. I come to the bottom floor and ask him, how long do we have the restroom for? Sorry, the dressing room for? He was like, yeah, we have like a good 30 minutes still. I was like, cool. And I take my keys, I take my phone, my hoodie, and I tell him, don't leave without me. Yeah, sure. It's fine. And then I go in there, do my business. I come out and I see the bus is still standing there, and I try my key. I have one of those magnetic blips, if you will, sensor things, and the door doesn't open. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Oh, sorry, this is not our bus. That was like the crew bus or something. And then I go behind that bus where our bus was supposed to be, and that one isn't there either. And when I go to my bus, I go behind the crew bus, and I go to our bus that wasn't there. The crew bus leaves as well. And I'm like, huh. So I take my phone, I take my phone up, and I call my tour manager. It's like, hey Mike, where are you? I'm in the bus. Okay, cool. Do you remember me saying something to you before I left? No. Okay, I told you don't leave without me. Where are you exactly? Oh, we left like 15 minutes ago. We're on the highway. I stand there in like flip-flops, soft pants, shorts, kind of, and my t-shirt and my hoodie. And I was like, okay, you need to turn back because I told you I was going to the bathroom. I did, and now I'm upstairs in the parking lot and no one's here. Oh shit! I hear him scream, and then he just drops his phone, and I hear him talking to the driver. We need to turn back. The drummer's still at the venue.
That's pretty awesome.
So I had so I had to like walk around in circles there for like half an hour before they came back.
Oh
They had
my
to find
God.
an exit,
And you're just out there freezing your balls off.
Yeah, kind of. I'm lucky I had my hoodie, but my feet were killing me afterwards because of the cold. But
That's awful, but that's pretty funny.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny by then as well because it's like that's typical, kind of. But then when I called him and I realized how cold it was, then it stopped being funny,
Like, all right, guys, joke's over. Let's get me back on the bus.
Come out, wherever you are.
Oh man.
Did I strangle the tour manager? No. A little bit maybe, but
just a solid punch on the shoulder.
Yeah. he actually stood in the doorway when they came back, and he opened the door and he stood there with a whiskey and a blanket for me as well. So it was fine in the end.
Treating you like a dog being let out in the cold rain. Like, come on, boy, got some food for you. Get back inside.
Yeah.
Sorry we left you out there. I love it. So
yeah, otherwise I don't think I have any cool stories unless someone like reminds me. Oh, do you remember that time where this happened? And
what about any crazy like fan interactions? Like, has there been a time where just a fan like was more crazy than normal, or like maybe not even a fan, maybe a band that you guys played with that was extremely jacked to play with you guys or something, like something.
I mean, we have this these meet and greet before the show during the day, and some people are like, they worship the band, and they are so nervous, and we tell them like, our VIP guy, we tell him like, tell the guys in line now that they can ask us questions, they can talk to us, they don't just, because most people go there and they like shake our hands and say thank you, love your music, thank you for being here, and then they stand there like shy sheep, surrounded by wolves, and then the picture is taken and then they leave. But we try to encourage people like, talk to us if you have any questions, if you have something you want signed, bring it. We're kind of open for everything. And yeah, sometimes you have these people who start crying and want to hug everyone and thank you, and that's super nice, but it can be too much if they are too hyped.
Oh, I
remember
I could understand.
I remember that once there was a girl, like, she asked Big J, like, can I have a hug? And he was like, yeah, sure. And everyone thought it was just going to be like a embrace and that's it. But she hang on to him, wouldn't let go, and someone had to like drag her off, and but other than that, I don't think there has been too much of a fan chaos. I don't think. There was one time we were playing at, I can't remember the festival name, in Germany, probably somewhere. And we were playing. This was my first year, I think. And I see some guy, I thought it was a stagehand at first, like just walking behind the drums, behind me. And I asked my drum tech after the song, like, who was that? And he told me that he had no idea. I had no idea. He said, okay, cool. And then this guy comes back and tries to go out on the stage, and we have like pyro and everything, so he was just trying to walk on stage. And then I see our our guitar tech come running across the stage like a fucking bulldozer, like tackling him, like rugby style, like shoulder to stomach, and this guy just flies away. That's cool too, but it's kind of scary at the same time, because no one know who that guy was and what the intention was or anything. So, but he didn't do anything, apparently. So,
yeah, I feel most people aren't going to do anything when it comes to that, but I mean, you never know. You never know people's intentions. Most of the time, people just want to get close to a band or whatever, jump off stage, probably, or headbang next to the guitar player or something, But yeah, you never know if there could be some weird ill intent,
Yeah, exactly. And I think this guy was just honestly just too drunk, like,
You tend to like see that every now and then at a metal show.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but when it comes to storytelling, I think I need someone like to tell me, like, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when we got shit-faced in Peru with Abbat, or stuff like that? And then I can be like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, and this happened. But yeah, I'm not a really good storyteller myself.
So that makes me think of another question. So, being like, since joining Amon Amarth, I'm sure there's been not only a ton of like musicians that not only you've enjoyed or maybe been inspired by, but I'm sure there's plenty of other people that you've met that you've maybe, I don't know, celebrities or something. Like, is there anyone noteworthy that you've met that you didn't think that you would meet because of joining the band that you're in? Like, oh, I got to meet, like, you could be into martial arts and you got to meet some great martial arts teacher or something like that. Like, has there been anybody notable that you've been able to meet or else come into acquaintance with due to the band?
I mean, there has been like pro wrestlers and like NHL players on our shows to see us, and I met them, but I'm not into those sports at all. Uh, so I really don't don't remember who they are. I didn't know before. I didn't check them up afterwards, and but yeah, there has been some famous people I have heard. I it's not like Brad Pitt comes to our show,
Yeah.
but those sports stars, they have been to our shows, and yeah, we hang out a bit, and I don't care for the sports, it's just like nice to hear them say like, yeah, but when we pump ourselves up before the game or the practice, we listen to, I don't know, Ravens Flight or whatever, and that's super cool to hear, even though I'm not into what they're doing, and it's kind of hard to associate the feeling, because I don't know what they do to the song, but it's nice to hear, I think.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Eric Rowan has been with us for a long time, actually. His WWE. Yeah.
Do you followed wrestling at all? No.
No, I had no idea who he was until I met him the first time. And then he has been in our music videos, and he's been coming to our shows and stuff like that. So
That's really cool.
yeah. So of course we send him some shirts from time to time, so he can wear them, and he does it with pride, and that's super cool, I think. But he's a big guy, man. I mean, I'm not the smallest guy. I'm not the tallest guy either, for that matter. But he is like, when I stand next to him, he is like, yeah, the the camera doesn't even cover it, but he is tall, that guy. Yes, he is in our music videos. He is in Raven's Flight. He is in Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor, and also the third one, which I can't remember, of that series. And also he is in Get in the Ring, I think he's in as well.
That one would make sense for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who else would we choose, to be in a song about fighting in a ring? That's him, of course.
So what's it like filming these music videos with the band? Like it looking like, watching the videos, it just looks like that it's a ton of fun just getting together with the guys and just, either whether you guys are playing, mock playing or playing, or else if you guys are just doing it like what's the one song where you guys are in the office? It's one of the newer videos.
Oh yeah. Find a way to make one.
Yes, that one. Like a video like that. Like, you got, what's cool about you guys have your videos where it's focused on like the folklore of this or that, and then you have like a goofy music video like that just looks like a lot of fun. Like what's that like? Like,
well, for that specific video, it was like, well, okay, I take that back. But to record those videos, it's long days of work.
start early, end late.
Oh yeah, and tons of waiting, because they have to set the cameras up and the lighting up, and then all the props has to be, perfect and everything. And then there is those shots you can only do once as well, because in that video we trash an entire office, right? And the director told us like, yeah, and then on my cue you just go berserk a little berserk. And we were like, yeah, cool. And we went full blast berserk. We trashed monitors, keyboards, through fucking chairs and drawers all over the place. and he was like, "Oh, okay. So I guess we're not doing this again," because they couldn't restore it, you know. but some for like videos like Hadron, where we die and we come to Valhalla and we drink a lot of mead, and that's I have to be honest, it's pain. I mean, it's super fun when you actually get to see the video afterwards, because you have like 16 hours of work and waiting cut down to like 3.5 minutes, you know. So it feels like you didn't work for too long, but the truth is that you recorded a scene in the beginning of the day where it was light outside, and then in the next scene it's like dark, and that could be like within 10 seconds of the music video, but in reality, you know, daylight, nighttime, it's like it's 12-14 hours in between. So waiting is, you have to be really, really patient doing those, but it's great fun, because when you're shooting, you're all in, because you have been waiting for so long and you want to make an effort and you want to make it look good and you want to try to act. We're not actors in any way, none of us, but it's super fun, and you get to like in Hadron, they brought me like a replica of my kit. You know, I have a kind of big drum set, and they brought the exact same setup, and I was just like, I don't have the energy or will to put all that up in such tight space in a barn, you know, kind of in a festive hall / barn. And they were like, okay, cool. So what do you need? I was like, yeah, I need one rack tom, one floor tom, hi-hat, kick, snare, 2 crashes and a China. That's it. Because I don't need the entire kit for this. And it doesn't matter if I hit 8 hits on the rack tom and it sounds like 3 different rack toms in the music video, because it's a music video. No one will care, you know.
Yep.
And so I just winged it, and I had never played that song on a 4-piece before, and for that drum intro alone, I need like all the rack toms that I have, like 5 rack toms, snare, and 1 kick. That's all I need for the intro. And then all of a sudden I was cut down to half on my own behalf, you know. So I was like, huh, this is gonna be interesting. Because they told me like, Jocke, you're up for the drum intro thing. I was like, yeah, cool. And then I sat down and was like, how do I didn't think of it when I put the drum set up. I was like, I don't want to do the whole kit. So I put the small kit up, and then I sat down and was like, oh shit, maybe I made a mistake here.
At this moment, he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, kind of. It was great fun. And then especially when in that video we stand like 30 people in a very small area, and everyone is jumping around, and I'm sitting there playing the drums loud as fuck, and you know, it's just, they play music on the speakers, and yeah, it's chaos, but it's super fun. And the director we had was super professional as well, so
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then for some videos, like Put Your Back Into the War, where we're at first we're at sea, and then we arrive at the shore, right? And then we like go in there, and then we fight against someone, I don't know, Christians probably. And then for those videos, it's super cool, because you have to learn choreography and how to hit someone in a way that looks good on camera. Not like it's gonna be a deadly blow in real life. It has to look good on camera. And those guys that we meet, they are like reenactment people. You know, they have their own reenactments groups and everything. So when we meet them, they're like, yeah, just hit me in the head, it's fine, with a sword.
It's not a prop,
so
it's a full-on sword.
no, it's a full-on sword. It's live metal. You can't have like foam or anything. You have to. Yeah, it's a full-on sword. They have like padded helmets, so that's fine. But there was one scene in that video. I think I hit the same guy in the head, like 40 times, full on. Just like full motion. And in the end, he said, like, yeah, I started feeling dizzy halfway, but I thought I could just pull through.
Well, I only got a concussion, but we got the shot.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. and the director was very, very like, we always tell them, as I told you, like, we're not actors in any way, so we will do our best, and you tell them just to make us look good, whatever we do, So they have to, while they are like running towards us with a shield and a sword, and we stand there like, oh, this is a shot. We have to try to make our moves look good, and we've been instructed like how to slice and dice and shit, but they are instructed to make us look good, so they have to like improvise as soon as we hit, not like I'm gonna run to him and then I'm gonna fall to the right. Oh shit, his hit is coming from the right, then I have to actually fall to the left. They have to like improvise as they go, so that's super cool.
That's an art form all in itself.
Oh yeah. But that video was very, really cold as well. We were like at the coast of England, and it was like September, so it was super cold, but all good.
So you've been on 2 albums for Amon Amarth, right?
Yes.
So out of those 2 albums, how many music videos would you say you've filmed out of them?
Ooh.
It's probably there's at least a handful of videos for each album.
Oh yeah. I think, we're not counting like the live videos now. We're just counting
like the actual music videos.
I don't know. I think it's like 7, 8, 9, maybe. I honestly lost count.
That's a good amount for 2 albums.
Yeah.
Because there's some bands that they only put out 1 music video for an album.
Yeah.
Their big song is on 1 album.
Exactly. Yeah, the hit. Yeah. But I think Arch Enemy did like, they released an album. The last one they released, I think it's like 9 or 11 songs or something, and they made a video for each and every song. That's kind of impressive as well.
It's very impressive.
But also, it's not like storytelling as we have. It's just like music performance video, But still, it takes some time, and you have to get all the shots. And if you're doing one of those videos, you have to like perform the song, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 times just to be able to cut all the pieces together afterwards, because this time the vocalist is going to be in the center and you're going to see everyone blurry in the background. But then also we need the shots of the drummer who has to play the songs the most,
Is that something that drives you nuts about music videos like me, where you're watching music video and you watch the drummer and then you're like, that's not what the drummer does at that point?
Yes.
I think every drummer hates that about music videos. They're like, wait, that drummer did a fill and he's totally hitting a cymbal there. What's going on?
Yeah, I hate that, and I'm super picky about that as well.
You made a point like, don't fuck me like that. Put my fill where it's at.
Yes, many times, because we all always get a draft for the music video that we can approve, and I'm the first thing I look at is like, is the drumming matching the actual drumming? Is the drumming in the video matching the audio? If not, then I say, okay, we can't use this between 357 and 401. We can't use that because it doesn't match up, and then they have to redo those 4 seconds. So yeah, I'm super picky about that. even though I think I failed in find a way to make one. I think you can see me
There's a
play.
spot.
Yeah, there's a spot.
There's a spot where you're like, damn it, they got me.
Yeah, but in the end, I mean, if you have someone in the foreground, like you have me blurred out in the back, and you just see some arm waving, and for me, it's like up here. If I play here, blurred out in the background of a guitar player doing a solo, then it could be like a crash, or it could be the hi-hat. So it doesn't really matter in general. But for
Yeah.
me, I'm really like,
It doesn't really matter in the scheme of things, but I mean, the
no, but
perfectionists know and see. They're like,
oh yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. It's
I think it's a
it
common
has to
thing.
be. Oh yeah, especially for drummers.
Let's see. I'm seeing some. I think I'm seeing some good questions here in chat. Let's see. Were you in any of the Joms Viking album videos? That which album's that? That's one or two before.
Yeah,
Berserker.
that's the one. That's the one that was recorded before I started. I joined in when that was released, that album, and I was not in the videos of that album. So
Okay. Let's see. When he joined the band, did he have a hard time to adapt to the drumming of one of the other before him? Like, was it a big change in style compared to what he was? Yeah. So I would probably say no. It probably wasn't too much of a big style change for you, or was it? Was there
no.
any like anything new that you really were like, okay, I gotta learn this now, or did you just know how to do it?
Well, obviously, I didn't know like how to do it, but uh, I mean, the some fills and like signature things that Frederick has, but I wouldn't say it was hard, because I've been listening to Amon Amarth since I was, I don't know, like 18, 19 years old. So I've been following them for a while. So I knew how the songs were. I knew Frederick's style of playing and so on. So it wasn't hard for me to adapt to his playing because I always had it in my head, already. Even though I didn't apply to my own drumming, but I had his style. Like I knew his style. And when I got a little bit better at drums, like 25 years old ish, I had no problems like learning other people's stuff because it's so much easier when you know what you're doing instead of just trying to do it.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, so were there like other hard transitions, like not when it outside of the music? Was there other things that were like hard to get used to, like joining the band, like the lifestyle, like I were you touring before at all, before you joined Amon Amarth?
Yeah, I was, but those tours were not like the first of all big as in production and the amount of people that's involved, but also they weren't as big as in like venues and attendees and money, of course, and everything like that. And they weren't as long. The longest tour I was on before Amon Amarth was like 5 weeks, I think.
That's still a
Which
decent long tour, though.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that was with could have been with, well, it was with my band Valkyria, and then I think we were supporting like Vader and Gorgoroth maybe or something like that.
That's a solid tour.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I had to adapt to, I think,
Just the length of tours and things like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and also like how do you how do you spend how to spend your time, because everyone wants to do different things. Like someone want to go work out, someone want to see the city, someone wants to, I don't know. Everyone wants to do different things. Like, and how do I want to spend my time? You know, how do I wait the entire day? And you come up with stuff. You bring your laptop and you play games and you sightsee stuff and I don't know. That was really hard from the beginning, but now I know, because now I just play games. But sometimes if you're in a nice city, you want to see some, the Rocky statue in Philadelphia and stuff like that. So take an Uber, you go somewhere, and also on the last tour we started to golf as well. So
That's very cool. How'd you like that?
I like it. Not because it's a fun sport. I like it because it's relaxing. And I always been a fan of like open fields and like some trees. So that's a good waste of time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've never been serious golf. I've been miniature golfing, but that's something I honestly want to try, just because it does seem very relaxing. You're outside, you're getting fresh air. You're getting walking in. You're getting some. You're swinging the golf club, so you're getting some good exercise. So it's socializing. It's good all around for sure.
Oh yeah, and the hardest thing about golf is keeping track of how many shots you've done. I realized. Not actually swinging and hitting the ball in the right direction and with the right amount of strength, but keeping track of, is this my third or my second shot? That's the hardest part. But also, don't do 18 holes before you're supposed to be on stage in like 100 degrees. That's a bad idea.
So you must have done that then?
Yeah, I did that.
Was it this last tour you did that?
Yeah, that was not a good idea. That's for sure.
What were you just dead by the time of the show? Is that what, just too tired, too much?
Oh yeah. Being out in the sun all day, and like I'm very picky about hydrating, and you only bring so much water with you, and then when it's out, you're like, oh fuck, and then yeah, it's just pain. But it's fun.
What city was that?
Oh, I can't remember. It was quite early on that tour, when I learned it. So I don't remember, honestly.
I'm trying to remember if you guys started East Coast or West Coast with that tour.
We started West.
I was going to say, I feel like my concert was early.
Yeah, we took the northern way, so we like circled down and back.
Okay. So this actually brings me to another question that I've been wanting to ask. Do you have a favorite place that you like to play, or like whether it's a city or a country? Is there a favorite like destination for you when it comes to touring?
I mean, if we're talking like cities, then no. I don't have a favorite place, because I just enjoy playing, and I'm not a big guy of sightseeing, so I don't really care for like the Eiffel Tower or Statue of Liberty. I don't care. I've seen it before, and I just like But if we go bigger from cities, we go bigger to countries. I love to play in Germany because I think we have the best fan base there. It's like Germany, and then there's like US, I think. No, sorry. Yeah, okay. Let's say it's Germany, and then there's the Americas, North and South, and then there's the rest of Europe. And I love playing in Japan and Australia as well, because Japan, especially because there's a different kind of culture. and I've never been there before. Australia, super cool as well. And when it comes to like events, I think festivals in Europe is like that's a highlight of touring, I think.
You really enjoy the festivals.
Oh yeah, because there are so much more. I get this question a lot, like not this specific question, but a question I get a lot is like, do you prefer to play club shows or festivals? And then I always like, club shows is nice because it's intimate, but festivals are cooler because there are so many more people. Uh, and playing festivals, there's like so much more than just playing. There are always bands, there are always like super good catering, normally very, very nice weather. And yeah, everyone, there's so many people around there for the same reason, everyone loves music, and you're playing in front of like 80,000 people. It's insane how lovely that feeling is. You go up on stage in the intro and you stick your drumsticks in the air and you can hear like wow, it's yeah, that's insane.
I remember seeing pictures and videos from one of the festivals you guys played over the summer. Can't remember where, but the stage you guys played on literally looked like you guys were on a mountain. And then you were up above everyone else on this riser that just looked like you were hundreds of feet in the air compared to the crowd. Like I can't remember what it was, but it looked insane. That's got to be the coolest feeling.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, I can't wait to do it again next year.
Well, yeah. So before I want to talk about streaming, but before I talk about that, so what's some of the like the next plans that you and or the band have right now?
Our next thing is Mexico. We play Hell and Heaven Festival in Mexico City on Friday. So we'll leave from here in 2 days on Wednesday.
Are you guys just playing the one show, one festival, or is there
Yeah.
more?
No, it's just the one. So we
Wow.
fly there. We have like an accommodation day, and then we play on Wednesday. Sorry, Friday, and then we go home like late Saturday and come home on Sunday.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That's got
It's
to
a
be
good.
fun.
It's a really good lineup. Really good lineup as well.
What
It's
are
like
a couple
us,
of the other notable bands on there?
Slipknot, Halloween, uh, Billy Idol, I think is
Oh,
playing,
wow.
Muse, and there are some really good stuff there.
Wow. That's a pretty awesome diverse lineup.
Yeah, I think Carcass is playing there as well.
Oh god. I love Carcass. They're great
Yeah, this is
live.
cool. Yeah, for sure. Hang on, I gotta check here. So it's Slipknot, Halloween, Amon Amarth, Muse, A Day to Remember, Guns N' Roses is playing, Ministry, Ville Valo from Him, In Flames, Blogging Molly, Biohazard, Sodom, Carcass, Exodus, Havoc, Flesh God Apocalypse, and there's like a ton of other bands. Il Nino, Gwar.
That's a solid lineup.
Oh yeah, it's super big, that festival. We played it twice before, so it's gonna be nice to get back there.
Hell yeah.
And the last time the last time we played it was just when COVID hit. So that was our last show before COVID pandemic. We did like South America, and then all the countries were like shutting down after we left. So we were like the last live show there. And then we did this Hell in Heaven, and then we flew back home and we're home for like two years.
So you bring that up, and it makes me want to ask. So when COVID happened, like 2020, everything started shutting down. How much did that affect you and the band? Like, obviously everything, a lot of things were put on hold, but Was there like a moment for you and or the band where you guys were like, I don't know what's gonna happen? Like, were you affected like a lot, or were you like, things are hopefully gonna work out okay? Like, because some people were really affected, and some people were like, all right, I think I can just kind of wait this out. Hopefully everything passes, and then we get back to business.
Well, the last thing you said was like the dream scenario, right? Because we hoped everything would come back as it were.
As it has now. Thank fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, of course, we made plans for like what are we going to do when it happens, like when we come back, and is this within a year or is it 2 years? No one knew, So we just had like a bunch of ideas, and we started writing new music because what else could we do, and hoping for the best. So it affected us as much as it did for everyone else, I think, because we couldn't play live shows, and therefore we couldn't get paid for live shows as well. So the only thing we could do was like try to write new music and put that out instead.
As it worked out, the last album is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
um,
it's good.
is that when you got into streaming on Twitch?
Yes, sir. I had to find something to do during those years, and I decided, well, I'm just gonna start streaming. I had no idea what it was until I started, pretty much. So I kind of just looked up. I saw someone recommending me something on Twitch, and I was like, "What the fuck is Twitch?" And then I discovered it, and I saw like people doing a bunch of different things. Everything from woodworking to knitting to playing games and playing their instruments and everything. And I was like, yeah, I could probably do this as well. So I started just hooking my PlayStation account up to Twitch, and I sat there just playing video games. And then more and more people started to see it, and then they wanted to chat as well, because I was like, just like, oh, they're probably just gonna look. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna want to talk. But then people started to ask questions, and then I bought a headset with a mic, and then I, you know, escalated from there. And then I started digging in how could I do this with my drums, and yeah, that's what I did in the end.
So you initially came to Twitch just to kind of fool around and play games. It sounds like at first,
Yeah,
and
pretty
then
much. Yeah,
then drumming came in afterwards. You're like, oh well, I guess people actually want to see me play drums too.
yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
that.
And combined with that, because I had to buy a lot of, not a lot of, I had some cameras that I hooked up, and then I realized how good the quality of the sound was when I'm streaming. So I was like, maybe I should take this to the next step and do like online drum lessons as well. So I started doing that as well via Skype, and it turned out to be pretty successful doing that too.
That's awesome.
But I was really, really picky, and well, not picky, but I was really, what do you say, like honest with like how I would teach, because some people told me, "Hey, I want to get better. I want to reach higher BPMs with my kick drums, right?" Okay, cool, but I can teach you the way I do it. It might not be the right way or the most theoretically correct or ergonomically correct way, but I will show you how I do it. And people, they like accepted that, because if it works for me, then it might work for them too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bunch of lessons doing that, uh, and that gave me more confidence about talking into the web camera or GoPro or whatever. And then I like did more and more streaming as well.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I was very it was truly crazy when I discovered you, because it was wild. I've told the story before about how I discovered you on Twitch. It was my birthday. I did a big long birthday stream. It was, pretty hype, a ton of people came through. A ton of support. So I was just like, I was to the moon, I had a great day. And then I'm like, all right, we got to get out of here. We got to raid. I'm like, where are we going? I didn't, I went to try to find someone that I already was following that I wanted to raid, and I didn't see anything. I think I was like, maybe I'll just go to browse. Let's see if we can find a drummer, And then you popped up. I seen this big drum set, I didn't know who you were. I didn't know what you looked like, So I just see this guy playing this big drum set. I'm like, oh, what's this? I click on it, and as soon as I click on it and hear sound, I hear double bass for literally 1 second. And that's all I needed to hear. I just went, glam. Oh, well, I guess that's where we're gonna raid. This guy's playing some metal. I was like, there we go. We're finding someone new. We raided. Then you got done playing your song. You're like, hello, I'm the drummer of Amon Amarth. And we're like, wait, what? Like we were blown away. So it was really cool to like randomly find you, and then here we are, connecting through thanks to Twitch. Like very cool, very cool.
Yeah, I remember that too. That was fun.
A lot of fun. Do you have any? So are you still doing the lessons online then?
No. I'm thinking about doing it again though, because
just haven't had the time, been busy.
Yeah, this year has been a lot of touring, and I haven't been home doing a stream much. And whenever I am home, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna be home for like 2 weeks, so I don't want to do that. I want to stay home with my family, and
yeah, you
maybe
want to spend time with the fam.
Yeah, and then just like, yeah, I'm gonna stay at home for a week, and then I'm gonna practice for 3 days, and then we're off. So I don't want to spend time by then just sitting in front of the camera. So I didn't do any streams as well, but that's the downside of touring, I think. You can't do everything you want because you're not at home. Well, of course, I could stream like games on tour, but that I'm dependent on a good internet connection on tour, and not all the hotels has those. So
yeah. Have you thought about or talked to the band about potentially like doing like live streams of any concerts or anything like that? Is that something that they're like against? Is that something they've considered?
Well, we have talked about it, especially during the pandemic. Like, should we do like a live stream as a band? But I don't know. The discussion kind of died out. It would be cool though. It's like too much work, I think.
It would be a lot of work, for sure.
Yeah.
It would take a good crew, a good production to make it all happen. Obviously, unless you guys were to DIY it, which would be possible, but it would take a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And like just logistics. Like, where are we going to be? We have to rent a place, like a studio, and that's not for free at all.
No. See, I know a few bands that like Behemoth. They did like a online live concert during the pandemic. They sold tickets, so you could only watch it if you bought tickets, go to the website and all that. It seemed like it worked out pretty well, but it was very high production too. I think they like did it at like some old church or something like that. They had 1 million camera angles. Like it was wild.
Yeah, that was a very. Yeah, we put a lot of money into that, I guess. So.
Yeah,
but it turned out really well as well.
It seems like you gotta weigh it. Like are we gonna gain for this? Are we gonna lose for this? Or is the audience really gonna be there and enjoy this? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, some bands can do it just because it's fun, because there is no economical aspect to it. Like small garage bands can just jam and people will still watch. But if you're a more of a high level band, you just can't wing it like that, because it has to be a specific level of it. So, and with that comes a great amount of money to put in there as well. So
For sure. For sure.
yeah, Matt from Trivium streams all their shows on Twitch with soundboard audio. Yeah, I agree. Well, I know he does it, but I think that's kind of. I have different feelings about that, to be honest, because people pay to be at the concert to hear and see the band, and then you can watch it for free on Twitch. So I don't know.
It is a little bit of a catch-22 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I respect Matt, I respect Trivium, but maybe they have like only subscribers can see it.
Well, they do have that option. I know he doesn't do that though. Like anybody can go and watch. But I've honestly wondered why more bands or things don't do things like that. Like I understand you don't want to make everything exclusive or behind a paywall, but I feel like there are some things that are worthy of it.
Oh yeah. I kind of have different feelings about it. I understand that it's a really, really good concept. You can lure people into like coming to see you next time when you're in their city and stuff like that. It's like advertisement probably, but
Exactly.
But yeah, still on the other hand, people pay to be there, to experience it, and I don't know.
I see where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah.
Like you could look at it like you're taking away from the experience of, yes, you can go see it physically, but you gotta buy the tickets and all that. But then you can also look at it as there are some people that can't go to shows because of either where they are or maybe a disability or whatever, and so then they do get the option to be able to do it. So there's goods and bads when it comes to both things. That's how I completely agree with that. But I try to think of those moments where it's like, yes, there's that, but then there is the opportunity for those that wouldn't be able to have that opportunity.
Oh yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's as you mentioned, it's a catch-22.
It is. So, you said it was kind of tough, like getting used to like talking into a camera with streaming now. Do you enjoy it now? Like now that you've kind of gotten more used to it?
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, for me, it's like, hang on. So sorry. For me, it's like a necessity right now, I think, to stream once in a while, because when I'm at home, my fiance goes to work. I drop the kid off at daycare, and then I go to my studio, right? And if I don't stream, I have no interaction with anyone during the day, because all of my friends, they work, and you can only visit your parents so many times a week, and so I kind of have to have this kind of interaction, speaking into a camera, even though no one is talking back, everyone is just writing back, of course, but it's still a kind of interaction, and I need to talk a bit every day, and that gives my it covers my need to talk and to interact.
Well, we all crave that. Whether some people would like to say they don't, but we all crave connection, So that's Twitch is definitely an amazing way for connection, from like a streamer who nobody knows about, who can just stream and meet new people, to someone like you who it has a notable status that people, that wouldn't be able to connect with you regularly are able to now because they, oh well, now I follow him on Twitch and I can just watch and I can just chat and he can chat back to me. It's really cool. It's a really amazing thing.
Yeah, I think that's super convenient, if you will.
Yes, it is convenient for sure. So let's see. What do we see in here? We're interested in stories or asking questions in the moment about drums. So, I mean, I've I've learned when it comes to streaming, like, yeah, people want to talk about music. Being a musician, they want to talk about music, but they don't even have. It doesn't even have to be that. They just want to connect. They just want to chat. Which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's sometimes you don't always want to be at work.
For sure.
Exactly. Meet the real people, meet the real person. Yeah, totally. That's why I'm up to this kind of stuff. Because in general we're just two guys. That
Yeah.
happen to play drums, both of us. So.
Yeah, some people would like to look at you and be like, "Whoa, whoa, this guy's actually a real guy." I can relate to him. Like, people don't think about that sometimes, so it's good to have an outlet like this to where people can be let in.
Oh yeah, I think so, because I think it gives you also like a different perspective of the music if you know the guy a bit and you understands, like maybe they're watching my streams and I tell them, yeah, I gotta practice this thing that I come up with, and then all of a sudden it's on an album, that thing that I practiced, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I was there, I saw him practice this live on Twitch, and then now it's actually in this song that I like. That's they and then by then they can relate not only to the music but what's actually behind the music.
Yeah, the process.
Yeah. And
That's
understanding how much time it takes to make it to perfection as well.
yeah.
Not only like, yeah, I like this, and then tuk, 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 tuk. It's like, oh yeah, but then there's an accent here, and there's maybe a high tom here, low tom, and then understand a bit more.
Okay, so let's get back to drums for just one hot minute. I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite cymbal? Do you have do you have a favorite cymbal, and do you have a least favorite cymbal? Because I could tell you for sure my least favorite cymbal right now would be a China cymbal.
Oh, okay.
Not that I don't like China, I don't like how much it's being used right now in a lot of metal. You know what I mean? Like, there's
I
a
used
lot of breakdowns that have China, and I think it's just being overused. So, but I mean, it's not that I don't like China, I think it's being overused. So that would be my least favorite, I guess. But do you have a favorite
I
symbol?
get you. I mean, I all of my symbols that I use are my favorite symbols. That's why I use them. but if I would have one symbol to use, I would probably say the 19-inch Sabian a Holy China, because it's raw. It's super fucking raw, man. But it's just a symbol I like, right? Of course, my other ones are super good too. And my least favorite symbol I don't use. That's it doesn't make sense to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay. So what's your? I don't think you use any. A lot of drummers are now using like stacks. Have you
Oh,
fucked around with
okay.
stacks at all?
Yeah, I hate it. It's horrible. It's just above. I mean, it's cowbell, then there are stacks, and then there are like spiral cymbals, you know, those
Yep.
shit. And then the rest. Cowbells are the worst. Whoever invented cowbells in music should be in jail. Also, stacks are horrible. I mean, they sound kind of cool for a very short time of period in a very progressive setting, but I would never. I would never. Honestly,
Do you hate wood blocks then too, or is it just cowbells?
no, just cowbells. Woodblocks are super cool. I think.
I agree.
I mean, if you can manage to play it together with the rest of the kit, I don't think you should have like a percussionist standing there, like, you know, like donk donk.
Yeah, maybe
But
there's a band called Ghost Note where it's kind of like funk, jazz, fusion type stuff, and they have like a 2 or 3 different drummers, and like so one of them's like the auxiliary percussion where it's, you know, he does like tambourine, then woodblock, then this and that. You know, I think, you know, that's like Latin percussion. That stuff's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. I mean, you can of course have a percussionist. That's fine, but you shouldn't have like one in metal to do your woodblocks. That's my point.
Yeah. Okay, what about gong then? Are you a fan of the gong? Have you ever rocked a gong for Amon Amarth?
No, I haven't.
Why not? That it seems like that would be an awesome starter into something. Just you coming out, just get the gigantic gong, and then you got the big mallet, and you just start warming it up, and then boom, a big crash. Because that's what's cool about gongs too. Is you gotta like, especially a big one, you gotta like warm it up. You gotta like tap it to like get it to start vibrating, and then you give it a big crash.
Yeah, but also not in the middle, right? You have to hit it on the edge of it, or like in the outer parts of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of like like in between the middle and the edge of the cymbal, right?
Exactly. Yeah. In the body, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't be into that?
I think that would be pretty cool, mainly for like for the theatrical aspect, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say that, because I mean, Amon Amarth, you guys very theatrical. You have lots of production. Like, you know, when I last saw you guys, like it was like, of course the music was awesome, but the having the production with it, from the guys coming out doing the sword fight, from how the stage has the dragon and the boat on it, like it's truly it enhances the show and the music so much more.
Yeah. So you think a gong is the way to go for the next step?
I mean, I feel like most people would be like, yes, that's cool. Gong is badass factor for sure.
I mean, I kind of agree. It looks cool, but for me, what looks cooler, because it's Viking, right? Amon Amarth is Viking. I don't think they used too much gongs. What I would like to have, if anything, is like a big fucking horn, like this horn, you know, on a stand, and you go out there and you just like, like a charge horn.
That would be cool.
That would be cooler, yeah.
Yes. Let's make it happen.
But then, of course, we had to start with that song that has that intro as well. I think it's called like Arson or something.
You could throw it into another song as well, just cause it's cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine doing like 995 kick drums backbeat, and then all of a sudden you have to do the horn?
Hey, that'd be a hard flex. That'd be a pretty big flex.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Don't forget to breathe. Yeah.
You work out, man. You take care of yourself. You could do it.
Yeah, we'll see. I will totally pitch this idea now.
Do it. Pitch it, and then it was created here tonight.
Yeah, now I can't hear you, Mike, anymore.
You can't hear
Hang
me
on
now?
for a second.
Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's like a lag sometimes, chat.
Technical difficulties. Is it because you're a Viking now? Is that what's
So I'm
going
just
on?
gonna sit here and wait.
Uh-oh. No audio still here. Let me check. Let me see if there's anything weird going on my end. Still can't hear me. Oh, I see. It's like, is it frozen? Did he just freeze? Oh, he just froze. Uh-oh. Was it me that froze? Uh-oh. Hopefully it's not me. Was it him? What just happened? Yeah, he froze. Okay. All right. Let's try to... Oh, wait. Are you back?
I'm here.
You're back?
I'm here.
Okay. It froze up.
Oh, shit.
The Viking gods were like, no, you were not blowing any horns.
Too much talking, too little battle drums.
Yeah. All right, now time for the drum off. No, I got a couple of people ask me. They're like, so are you guys going to be like drumming? I was like, oh, no, we're just going to be talking.
Yeah. As you can see, I don't have any drums in here. Sorry.
All right, we'll just belly drum. Belly drum. There we go.
I don't even think the mic picked that up.
Oh, it did. It actually, I heard it.
I did it?
Yeah,
Did it? Nice.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, see? Belly drumming. You heard it here first. Well, is there any other questions that maybe the chat might have? I feel like it might be getting pretty late for you and all that. You might be getting tired.
I'm getting pretty tired, to be honest. Yeah, it's almost 20 minutes past 11 here p.m. So
yeah. So does I think.
And I had like a cold the last few days, so I'm kind of exhausted, to be honest.
Oh well, you need some rest. Then you need some rest. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like I've asked most of what I wanted to ask, if not everything. Like we've touched on your previous projects, which I once again I really enjoy. And okay, before actually, is there any of those projects still going on? Like what's the one that starts with a V? I feel like that's the one that I liked the most.
I have two. I've been in one band with a V. It's a Valkyria, but I think the one you're referring to is Voodoo's.
No, I think it's the first one. I want to
Valkyria.
say. I think so. Like,
did the band have more than one album out?
Yes, there was two, I believe.
If it's two, then it's Voodoo's. If it's more than two, then that's Valkyria.
Okay. Well, either way, they were all fire. I only checked them out once, and they were all fire, and they were all different styles too. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy you liked it,
dude. But yes. Well, I think everyone. Does anyone else? Wait. What was your favorite city to play in this last tour with Ghost? Well, it was obviously Spokane. It was obviously Spokane because you got to hang out with me.
Yeah, of course.
No, that dude, that was really, really cool. I got to thank you again for inviting me to that and inviting me and my girl backstage to hang out with you and bullshit. Like, it was really cool. And then getting to drink a beer on stage and watch Ghost, like that was really, really cool. Like, thank you once again.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Do you remember when we came up on stage and the guys were like, "Cover your ears"?
Oh yeah,
we were like,
no,
what?
I told that story. It was cool. So like we were backstage talking, and then he's like, "You wanna go watch the band?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go watch for a little bit." And then so we go out, and as soon as we got behind the stage, about to walk up on stage to watch, the pyro guy just yells out, "Everyone cover your ear!" And me and Red are like, "Wait, what?" And he's just like, "Better cover your ears," We're like, "Okay," and it was a very, very, very big explosion for the pyrotechnics. Like, you guys think it's crazy like in the crowd. Like when you're on stage or behind the stage, it is absolutely wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that was loud as fuck.
Yeah, are you just used to that kind of stuff now? You've been through enough pyrotechnics. It's like, I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pyrotechnics, man. For the most on like festivals and stuff, we use like full on pyro. And I have like a cross, or more like an X of fire in front of me, and I have uh like flame shooters, like that shoots 5 flames, like zang zang zang, in different directions behind me. And then there is like 2 flamethrowers shooting above me in a cross. So that gets super warm sometimes.
You ever been burnt on stage from that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, not bad. Well, that it wasn't from the fire itself. It was like a rain. We have like a golden rain in the end.
Yeah, the
Or no,
sparks that come down.
yeah, sorry, it wasn't even that. It was we played Fafner's Gold, and Fafner is a dragon, and we were like reflecting the gold with the gold sparkles coming down. But it was mounted. It was supposed to be a bit in front of me, but it was actually mounted above me. So it was like came like into my shirt, and I had like marks around my neck and on my shoulders because it was like burning through and everything. That was kind of horrible.
You're like, oh, I think we got to calm down on that, guys.
Yeah, but also that thing works in the way that they press the button and it happens, and they can't stop it. It goes until it burns out pretty much, and then I would like shit. And for the next shows, I just covered myself with a towel every time that happened.
That's so funny. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, it's in the end of that song we have like confetti cannons shooting like gold confetti to like mirror the gold even more. So
That's so cool. I love it.
yeah, it was super cool, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to give your channel a shout out here. There we go. I'm going to grab the links for everyone in the chat or watching on YouTube. If you guys are not following him on Twitch, there's his link. It's just his name. That's how you find him on Twitch. Do you have a YouTube page as well? I don't know if I'm subbed to you if you do.
I have it, but I don't post too much on there anymore.
Well, you do have a YouTube page, but that's where people can connect with you is through your Twitch channel, and then you have a Discord where people can join and connect with you further.
Yeah.
And then of course, you guys should be following Amon Amarth. There's all you got to do is Google. There's a million websites. Their official website. There's the Facebook, the Instagram, all the good things.
Yeah.
So the next thing is Mexico here in a couple days, and then more touring next year. That's the plan.
Yeah, we have a tour coming up. Oh yeah, that's not announced yet. So we have a festival tour coming up in in the later part of the summer next year as well.
Awesome. So festival tour, and then potentially other tours to be announced.
We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be great doing the festivals again. Wacken Open Air and Summer Breeze and all those. It's gonna be amazing.
Hell yeah. Okay, before we say peace out, what are the games that you play? What are your favorite games that you play when you're on tour or at home?
Call of Duty for sure.
Call of Duty? Wait, just any Call of Duty, or is there a certain one?
It's a Warzone.
Warzone?
Yeah. And the campaign, of course, it's fun. But yeah, Warzone is probably main thing.
Hell yeah. Well, you guys
I
can
mean,
find him playing Call of Duty.
yeah. So if I stream games here at home, then I play Warzone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna rip you off and say and start playing Red Dead Redemption.
Do it. Do it.
But
Have you
then
played it?
oh yeah, I finished the Red Dead Redemption 2 twice already, because it came out a few years back and I played it on PlayStation. So I played it first in like third person, and then I played it in first person as well. It was like a mod that came out, I think. And then I just finished them both in like a few weeks because I had nothing else to do.
So you did play the first Red Dead?
I didn't play the first. I only played the second.
Oh. Well, as someone who just played through the series, I definitely recommend. And it would be perfect that you've only played Red Dead 2 because it's the prequel to Red Dead 1. So if you play that, you're just continuing on in the story.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. And then there's a DLC that comes with that as well that is awesome. That's a whole nother game within itself. So if you're looking for something else to play and you liked Red Dead, I definitely recommend Red Dead 1 and the DLC.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'll check it out.
Super solid story, great gameplay. Yeah. But you're going back a little bit, and like, because it's the first one, but it still holds up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I come to terms that I started to realize that Red Dead isn't super hard anymore since I play a lot of Warzone. So aiming and all that stuff is super easy now.
Super easy, and you got Deadeye. Super easy.
Oh yeah, Deadeye. That helps a lot.
Yeah, little bit. Well, you guys can catch him on his Twitch channel, either playing drums or hopefully Red Dead 1 soon.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Well, dude, I'll let you get out of here so you can go get some rest and all that. You need to rest up so then you're ready for Mexico and all that. So I just want to thank you very, very much for doing this. And I mean, we could do this again in the future if you're ever interested. Like it's awesome to be able to talk with such cool people on here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be with you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Dude, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Thank you. Well, we'll leave it at that, and we'll hopefully see you soon. You have a good time in Mexico, and yeah, we'll talk soon.
I will. All right. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Peace and love, brother.